Alright guys, so it's been a few days since Asphalt Legends Unite was globally released, and oh my god, these last few days have absolutely been one of the craziest one I remember so far in all my 6 years within this community. The launch has been a bit of a mess, but I seriously think it's important to address a few points which are affecting to the community, so let's have a look at them. First of all, the biggest issue for most of you guys, the graphics. I have uploaded 2 videos and in all of them I have got a massive amount of comments bringing up the issues most of Android devices are facing with the new Asphalt Legends Unite graphics, so I will bring a bit of light to you all guys, so if you are affected you can properly understand this issue. Let's begin with the engine. Asphalt Legends Unite, as many of you know from the patch notes, has a new game engine based on the Vulkan API, which is basically a thing that is in charge of the graphics, the textures and that stuff. As far as I could understand, this Vulkan thing is theoretically better than the previous API the game had, but it's more unstable, which I think is what leads to the texture errors that you can see in most of the Android devices gameplay. The good part is that this can be adjusted, and I'm pretty confident that within the upcoming weeks there will be a solution for the textures and the lag affecting many Android devices. That's all what I can tell you guys so far about the engine, because it's better, some of the issues can be fixed, but get ready because now it's time to touch the next sensitive topic, the game optimization. When you are creating a game, you guys need to know that you must optimize it for the different platforms you are planning to launch it on, because it's not the same to launch a game on Windows than to launch it on Android, same as it's not the same to launch a game on iOS if you compare it with Android, because these different platforms have different systems and Android has a problem. Let me explain. There are only a set number of iOS devices out in the market right now. Let's say, for example, that Asphalt Legends Unite can only run from the iPhone X all the way up to the recent iPhone 15. This is good for a game developer because you can optimize the game for each one of the 20 different iPhone models available between the iPhone X and the iPhone 15, including the iPads. That way you can create a more polished product because you know the 20 scenarios where the game will run. If we talk about Android or Windows, it's far more difficult because there are dozens of different Android brands, thousands of different phone models with different configurations of RAM, chipset, storage and that stuff, and if you are a game developer, it's extremely hard to optimize your game for all these kinds of scenarios. What do you do instead? Well, it's fairly easy. All what you have to do is set a standard of basic requirements for your game to run, and these requirements will make your game run more or less decently in a good percentage of all the Android devices that exist right now, and same goes to Windows and the millions of different configurations that might exist out there. The problem is that since there are so many different devices, in many of them, just because of how the devices are, the game might run poorly, because these devices are at the bare limit of what your game needs to run. That's why, while most people with an iPhone or an iPad can run the game without any kind of serious issues, aside from maybe overheating and that stuff from time to time, which by the way is something quite normal at recent launches like the one we are talking about, a massive percentage of Android players which were able to run Asphalt 9 at medium or high graphics are no longer capable of running Asphalt Legends Unite even at medium graphics. And same goes to Windows, by the way, because if your computer specs are powerful enough, you will be able to enjoy the best graphics available right now, but if your computer is not that strong, you might not be able to run the game at all. Many people are waiting for a fix for Android graphics, and I will be honest, I'm quite confident that Gameloft will fix the texture issues and the lag in many cases, but in many other cases, I'm sorry, but the game will just not run as it used to back with Asphalt 9 Legends, because the game just made a jump in terms of visual quality, which I'm sure Gameloft won't roll back. Leaving the optimization as a whole behind, it's time to talk about those who are no longer capable of running the game on their devices. Asphalt Legends Unite was announced as a game expansion with improved graphics, and as I could see looking closely at the gameplay recorded at the absolute maximum quality the game allows, the shadows and the ray tracing improvement is easy to spot. However, that means that many devices that were just capable of running the old Asphalt 9 Legends at a medium or low graphics are no longer capable of running the game right now, hence why some of you guys got a black screen every time you try to open the game. Even though it's not a golden rule, it might mean that your device just can't run Asphalt Legends Unite properly, and the only long-term solution that will put an end to that will just be to get a new device, which could be more capable and that stuff. This happened to me with Asphalt 8 back when they introduced the 60 FPS, This exact same situation happened to me with Asphalt 8 back when they introduced the 60 FPS, and even though I refused to believe that, the only solution ended up being a new phone I had to get anyways because my old phone dies because of an accident anyways. Obviously, I completely understand that many of you guys who are not capable of running the game now want just get a new device just because of a game, but in the current scenario, that's the only solution in order to be able to play Asphalt Legends Unite again. Moving on, now it's time to talk about multiplayer. Dear God, probably one of the worst implemented changes I have ever seen. You know, I remember that back on iOS I used to be a fan of league mixing since the lobbies were quite bad, but this new multiplayer system made me completely hate it. Now each league is separated into different tiers, like bronze for example, which has bronze 3 to 1 and so on, and on each tier you can use a specific set of cards. The thing is that obviously the tier above has a better set of cards than your current tier, but the system pairs you with people from tiers above who are using cards that you can't beat because the difference is so big unless they are touch drive, but that doesn't happen always. That alone makes the experience of pushing on World League extremely painful, and even though Gameloft already said on Discord that they are working to fix this, there is more, because on the season series, where you can use whichever card you want, you always get paired with people using the best cards of the game, so the rank-based matchmaking is completely non-existent, so what's the point of playing it then? One way or another, I have to give a point to Gameloft, and I have to admit that it's just too early to come into final conclusions, so I hope they adjust their multiplayer system because the experience, as for now, it's just not good. If you are a casual player, you will likely get frustrated, and if you are a skilled player, you will face rivals using a far better card than the one you are using, so you will end up equally frustrated because it's just not fair. Then we have to talk about the Devel 16 nerf, which made a ton of people happy while it caused a ton of people who used to spend on this game to either quit or just stop spending altogether. Honestly, this particular topic is deeper one than all the topics I have just mentioned, so I'm already preparing a video about it so we can check it out in detail, because even if you hated the Devel, what Gameloft did is something to have a look at. I will not show my stance until that video, so make sure to be subscribed and stay tuned in order to not to miss it. But you know, let's get real guys. It's only been a few days since the game was released, and I completely understand why many of you guys are frustrated, but for once I would recommend to you all guys to put yourselves in the shoes of those who are working at Gameloft. Gameloft these days is a company completely directed by executives who mostly care about quick money rather than the well-being of the player base, and those who actually work on the company, like, you know, the devs who made this game, the community managers who try to help the community, and everyone else involved in the process of delivering this game, not the executive of course, but the actual workers, have likely been stressed out with delivering this product with a specific deadline, and that, added to the fact that the devs team changed a ton, people come and go, the dev team is understaffed and they have to deal with a ton of pressure, makes the fact that they are trying their best for this launch to end as good as possible something worth of recognition, honestly. So just be patient guys, and let's not put more and more pressure over a team that is trying 100% to make things work, unlike the executives that only want quick cash from us rather than a good gaming experience, which is what the devs are actually working for. There is nothing else we can do but to wait and hope that the devs can find a way to fix most of the issues with graphics and optimization that are affecting so many players. Keenly remember that it doesn't mean that at the end the game will run in most of the devices like Asphalt Legends used to, because due to the graphics improvement that won't be the exact case, that's just how the obsolescence works. But you know, eventually the game will be more stable and optimized. Let me know your thoughts about the recent launch on the comment section. Make sure to be subscribed in order to not miss absolutely anything about Asphalt Legends Unite, and I will see you really soon as usual with much more Asphalt Legends Unite content. Goodbye guys!